Well, good morning, folks. Good evening or good afternoon, again, depending on whereabouts you are in the world, because I know that you're all over the place. So yeah, welcome to you and welcome to you all for joining me for this week's Meals of the Week. It is lovely to see you, so thanks for popping over. If you're new and this is your first time here, my name's Cheryl and we are a family of 4 from the west coast of Scotland, and it's just the part of the week where I show you what I made for the family dinners for the previous week. And if I've done a recipe on any of the meals that you see, you know, I will leave them linked underneath, but I don't think there are many, if any, this week that I have done a recipe on. I always start off on Monday, right through till today, which is Sunday. So let me go and show you what we had. And if you do like these kinds of videos, why not consider subscribing just before you go, because about 80% of the people who actually watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you've forgotten or if you have subscribed, just check just to make sure that you are. So let's get on and show you what we had this week. So on Monday I made haggis, neeps and tatties, and absolutely, you know, this is as Scottish as it gets, and we love haggis. You know, if you've not tried it, you know, you might be surprised the amount of people have said, oh, I didn't think I would like it, and I actually really enjoyed it. So there's haggis in the bottom, some mashed buttered swede in the middle, and then mashed potato on the top, and it looks really fancy on the plate, but it's really easy to do. And we just did that with some carrots, and I made a quick mushroom sort of creamy sauce to use up some mushrooms that I had, and you know, instead of throwing them out. So that's what we had. But traditionally you'd have a sort of whiskey cream sauce, but nobody in the house likes whiskey, so this works out fine. Yeah, and it was delicious. Moving on to Tuesday, and we had chicken chasseur. So this was just using the Coleman's, you know, the sachet seasoning that you get, and you just mix it into the chicken, the mushrooms, the onions, and we have put a wee bit of puff pastry on top just to make it more of a pie, and some new potatoes at the side, and some peas and sweet corn, and this was absolutely delicious. You know, you just cannot go wrong. I just call this a chicken casserole because that's basically what it is, but it's really tasty. Moving on to Wednesday, it was just me and Mr. What's for Tea, and we had soup and rolls. So I had some lentils I had to use up, and also some bacon. So I made a sort of smoky bacon and lentil soup, and we also had some Scottish morning rolls with the smoked cheese and the unsmoked bacon, and a few cheese crackers on the side, and this was lovely. A wee bit of parsley and some croutons. In fact, I do have a recipe for these Scotch morning rolls I done not that long ago. I will leave the video underneath. Moving on to Thursday, we had chicken Kiev again. It was just me and Mr. What's for Tea. So I made some creamy mashed potato, that's the chicken Kiev, with some peas and a wee bit of parsley. I'm desperately trying to use this parsley up, so it went on nearly everything. So that's chicken stuffed with garlic butter and breadcrumbs on the outside. Moving on to Friday, and I made a lasagna. So I made this one quite late, so I didn't have time to let it set properly, and it was sliding all over the place, but it was still delicious. And we had a few chips on the side and some cheese topped garlic bread. And I do have a recipe for slow cooker lasagna and a traditional lasagna. I will leave linked underneath if you want to go and watch the videos. Moving on to Saturday, and it was just me and Mr. What's for Tea again. It's becoming more and more often, but I did make these ones myself. So, well, when I say myself, I did use pre-made pizza dough, which I've never used before, and apparently you can get 2 pizzas out of this, and I guess that's if you slice it down the middle. But I did want one round one, and I just did the sort of the longer square one, and that's everything that I used there. So I just used the bottom of a baking tray just to cut the circle out. I did use that leftover dough, and I made dough balls. So I put some passata on the bottom, and then a wee bit of oregano, and I sliced up some fresh mozzarella, tomatoes and some ham, and then some pineapple. Love it or hate, I love pineapple and ham on a pizza. A wee bit of grated cheese and some more oregano on the top, and I just put this in the oven for half an hour in the middle of the oven. And the other one was exactly the same, it was just a different shape. And like I said, I did make up some wee dough balls with the leftover dough, and I've no idea what's going on with the lighting there, but it was delicious. Moving on to today, and we had slow cooker ham. So I just put this into the slow cooker in the morning, and it was ready to carve in the afternoon with some roast potatoes, some wee balls of doom, and some gravy made with the juices from the ham. So that's sit there just out the slow cooker, and I just use an electric knife to get the slices nice and even. And this was so tender and delicious. That was the one I got from Sainsbury's, you know, the good for you one. It wasn't the cheapest, but it was delicious. And the roast potatoes. But just before I move on, I wanted to say, as I always do, you know, a massive thank you to the supporters over in Patreon and to the channel members here on YouTube as well. And I'm really not over in Patreon as much as I'd like to be. You know, I don't have time, and that sounds terrible, but you know, I just don't know where the time goes. I wake up in the morning and start to do stuff, and before you know it, it's time to get the tea on, and then by the time that's all done, you're sitting down at night watching the TV with a biscuit, and then it's time to go to bed, and then you're on to the next day before you know it. It's just insane. The days just disappear. But yeah, thank you very much for the ongoing support, and obviously for watching the videos and leaving your lovely comments, which I love to read. And for those of you who share the videos as well, is much appreciated. And I'll be back during the week with another wee recipe or unboxing, or possibly both, and then my usual shopping haul. And we are looking to go somewhere different this week, just for a wee change. So until I see you next, guys, mind to take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you off a soon back here on What's for Tea. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.